than what you were doing last year.
No doubt, no doubt. That's
All
fair.
right, we'll start. Any questions for Coach Bobby Wade?
What advice, if any, have you given to T-Mac as far as handling the attention, the fame, the scrutiny that he's going to receive now that he's emerged?
To stay present, just focus on each day, each moment. Don't let that moment pass. Make sure you're enjoying your time here because you're going to miss it when you leave, no matter where you go and what you're about to do. But really just, soak it all in, and don't let a moment pass. And, enjoy your friends, enjoy your teammates, enjoy, the attention that you're getting now because it could definitely change when you get to the next level.
We're a long way off from playing the game, of course, but when you get to that point, do you expect defenses to give him a disproportionate amount of attention, and what will that look like?
I would assume so. I would think they're going to try to cap him and maybe bracket him at times, and that's where us as an offense need to make sure that we are preparing the guys around him to also have their moment and their opportunity. So to elevate the room completely, we're talking about the attention that he'll get, and therefore we have to make sure the supporting cast is as good and ready for their moment.
As a group, as a whole, what have you seen so far this spring? Only day 6, but had some time with them. Just what have you seen out of the guys besides T-Mac?
They've done a great job to accepting the coaching, really giving me an opportunity to help them get better, especially with the individual work that we do when it comes to technique and understanding leverage and other technique and separation things that I can give them. But they've done a great job of really not only listening to that, but also taking the attempt to apply it. I think there's one thing about hearing it and drilling it, but actually when the moment comes available, can you use that tool that you have at that exact moment to give you, optimal outcome? And I think they've done a great job of trying to apply the teaching at the right moments.
Brent said the other day that he wants to use 6 to 7 wide receivers in a rotation. That's an ideal number. Do you feel like you're at that number now? And what are the benefits of rotating so many guys?
Yes, I think we're close. I think we're close to that number. I totally agree with Coach Brennan when it comes to that rotation. I feel like we need to have a good group of 6 to 7 guys. And honestly, it's really just falls on who's prepared and who's ready to do it. If we have 6, we'll play 6. If we have 4, we'll play 4. If we have 8, we'll play 8. It's just a matter of putting the best group on the field at the right moment. In order to do that, our leaders in my room have to be demanding of the group underneath them. They also got to be willing to allow them to have their opportunities. And so it's a really unique dynamic. It's great to have T-Mac in the room in Montana because they're absolutely willing to let that group have their fair share and their opportunities to prove to the coaching staff that they're ready and available to play.
And then what are the next steps for guys like Kevin Green and Malachi Riley?
Finding their niche within the offense, finding a way to consistently show up. And that's not just necessarily at the point of attack and with catches, but just showing up on film, doing the right things, doing it consistently. So the quarterbacks, when they're turning on the film and the other coaches are able to see this guy running free, able to see him in the right spot at the right time. Obviously, there's a lot of things that go into that very moment for them to be able to get a catch in the ball. But, when we're breaking out film, we're able to see everything. And I think the quarterbacks do a great job of recognizing personnel and where guys are. So, Malachi and Kevin are doing a great job with already picking up the offense and understanding that where they can fit and what their role can look like. I think it's going to have a lot of ebbs and flows, right? It's going to be good days and there's going to be days where they're not necessarily to the fans' eye, maybe not showing up, but to us, we're still watching it and they're being consistent and making sure that they are being correct with their splits and plays and not making too many mistakes.
You knew of T-Mac before you got here, and now you've had a chance to be around him and work with him for a few months. How would you describe what his personality is like, his makeup, that sort of thing?
Fun going. I think that's easy going. He really enjoys football. He's a great kid to be around. He has an awesome personality. I think he's a great teammate. He's very encouraging. He's a positive player which I really enjoy that because I like to pride myself on being positive when coaching as well. But he's everything that you would want in a player. You know, he's a great leader in the room. Uh, I encourage him to speak up a little bit more, but sometimes it's not always in his personality or in the moment. But I think by the way he prepares and by the way he actually practices, he's leading the group still.
How much does he bring up, possibly breaking some of your records?
We talk about it a lot. It's obviously not the focus, but we speak about it, and I try to make sure the way you're able to do that is one thing that I always say is hard work. In order to be able to get there, it's going to take hard work. You have to work hard and work harder even more. So it's everyday consistent movement on trying to make sure he's pushing himself to be his best.
If that day should happen, I assume that you will be happy.
Extremely happy. It's what I'm all about. I'm here. Records are made to be broke. It's been a long time holding it, and there's not a better person to pass it to. But again, it's going to take some work. We got to get him there to get there.
Benefits of these guys getting the coaching not only from you but from Babers and Brent Brennan, who come from receiver backgrounds.
Yeah, that's it makes my job a little more difficult, but it actually helps it as well. And it's great for the kids, the players, to hear another voice and a voice that's other voices that are aligned. Being that I was coached by both Brennan and Coach Babers, a lot of the teaching that I have came from them. So there's no doubt when they're pulling players aside and they're speaking to them, I know that we're aligned in what we're saying, and that really helps. It's another voice that reiterates, what I've already been speaking about in the room or on the field, and it's coming from somebody obviously that is offensive coordinator, head coach, so it can hit a little harder when it's coming from them.
And as well as your voice, you've also been seeing some of the drills, not just telling, but also showing, like doing some of the showing some of the examples by your moves as well. How do you think just that type of assistance can help players as well?
I think the demonstrations are very helpful, and I feel like they have been responding to that well. Sometimes it's difficult to explain those things or to talk those specific situations out. Sometimes you need to run through them. Fortunate enough to still have my health to be able to walk and jog through them. Obviously not the same speed that they can run them, but at the same time to be able to walk and talk through that and being able to demonstrate that for them, I think it's been very helpful.
Do you remember the first time you saw yourself in a video game?
Yeah, that had been 2000. I think it was the Game Breakers. Game Breaker, was that a game?
Okay. GameCube or
No, like it was the Game Breaker was a game back in the day.
okay.
Or was it NCAA? I don't know.
Okay. What was it? Was it you as the U of A?
As a U of
At
A,
college?
and what they had, they didn't have your name, but they had your numbers.
Yeah.
And then they had your exact build. They had your skin color. They had a little bit of it, not like it is now, like with your swag and walk, but you knew it was you for sure. But it was the numbers, and it was Game Breakers. I remember because there was only a certain amount of numbers that were Game Breakers, so to say, on a team. So I remember that.
And then seeing yourself in
Last
Madden?
question.
Madden was fun. That was really cool. But everybody complains about, your speed isn't right. All the numbers that give you your speed, and what are some other ones? Awareness. What else you got? Acceleration.
Agility.
They always messed that up for me, man. It was terrible.
And just real quick, just thoughts on video games getting back in college football and these guys have an opportunity to be in the game.
I think it's cool. It was always fun to be able to see yourself on there. It's funny, and if they get the opportunity to play in the league, that's always fun too because of the Madden game. And kids always run up to you talking about, I played with you in Madden way back in the day or whatever it might be. But I think it's fun for the boys.
All right, that's